Is the Marker the villain of Dead Space 1? You spend most of your time in the game cutting up monsters straight out of John Carpenter's The Thing, with nothing but mining equipment while trying to repair a failing ship, save your girlfriend, and save your friends all at the same time. But your ultimate goal is to end the infection by returning the alien butt plug back to the anus it came out of. Prepare for an action-packed adventure filled with makeshift engineering, government corruption, and heavy religious overtones. Now all in glorious 4K. This is the story of a man fighting for love and survival, and ultimately becoming a pawn to something he couldn't even begin to comprehend. Let's start from the beginning. No. The very beginning. There we go. Oh, and spoilers for Dead Space Remake, by the way, if you haven't played it yet. The team at EA Redwood Shores, later known as Visceral Games, was setting out to make the next great horror game. They decided to follow the framework of one of the greatest horror franchises of all time, and one of its best entries.
Resident Evil 4.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna take inspiration from a shooter, you might as well take inspiration from the best, right? From the game that revolutionized the third-person shooter genre. Visceral had previously established themselves as a studio that made licensed games, but they wanted to branch out and make their own original games and establish themselves as a proper studio. They began working on a project titled Rancid Moon, which was later renamed to Dead Space. When they pitched the game to EA in early 2006, they were given just 3 months to put together a working prototype. Yeah, that sounds like something EA would do.
EA, go fuck yourself.
The prototype was developed on the original Xbox hardware, since the team decided it would be easier to get something playable on current-gen hardware, and then work on getting something working on next-gen hardware. Thanks to lots of early demos and stubborn internal marketing at EA, the publisher approved the project after seeing a vertical slice, which was just 1 level. With the approval of EA and their experience making the vertical slice, the team made 11 more levels in the next 10 months. The team reused the game engine from one of their previous licensed games, and you're not gonna believe what that game was. That's right, the engine that the original Dead Space was built in is the same engine that the 2006 Godfather game was made in. Said engine was chosen because it tailored to the team's development style, supported the necessary environmental effects, and implemented the Havoc physics engine. With all the pieces in place, the team was set out to make what would become one of the greatest horror games ever made. But what would a game be without a story and an antagonist? Now, you might think that everything starts when the red marker is uncovered by the mining colony on Aegis 7, but that isn't entirely true, because according to Daniels, when she steals the marker from the Ishimura...
Sorry, Isaac. I couldn't trust him with the marker.
What are you doing?
What my department sent me here to do. Even if the Valor couldn't help me out like I wanted.
Department? Who are you?
I work for EarthGov, cleaning up a very, very old mess. I told you and Hammond that Aegis 7 was off limits. The planet was one big government experiment. The marker, this divine artifact, it was built by human hands.
That's impossible. It's an alien world. The miners dug up the fucking thing.
After it was planted here a few hundred years ago. Even Kind didn't pick up on that. They found the first marker in some crater on Earth. That one. That was real. Alien. Enough to inspire unitology. Our people studied it and reverse engineered this red marker. But they needed somewhere to test it.
Aegis 7.
You've seen the result. The stuff of nightmares. I thought the old reports were just hysteria. Until I saw what I saw. They sealed off the whole system, buried the records nice and clean. Until CEC got greedy. Those idiots tore Aegis 7 apart and woke up with the old research team left behind.
So EarthGov sends you to sweep it all under the rug. Damn it, we have to return the marker. If anyone else stumbles across Aegis 7,
It was disappeared once. We can do it again. I've seen how the marker fucks with your head. It must be contained. For what it's worth, we made a great team. You'll find another way off the Ishimura. I mean, you're one hell of an engineer.
Your experiment's gonna kill us all! Daniels!
We learn even more about this black marker in the novel Dead Space Martyr. Time for a tangent, my friends. But trust me, it's going somewhere. To make a long story short, in the year 2214, about 2 centuries before the events of the game, Earth government discovers the black marker, an alien artifact which has the ability to produce limitless energy for the resource-starved planet Earth. The story focuses mainly on geophysicist Michael Altman. Yes, that Michael Altman, the founder of unitology. Altman be praised. The book focuses on Altman's work studying the black marker, but when the marker is finally brought to the surface, the signal it emits creates mass hysteria, dementia, and suicidal tendencies. The scientists who didn't go completely insane and commit Sudoku began to worship the marker, treating Altman as a prophet due to his immunity to its signal, which Altman then uses to gather even more data on the marker. Altman leaks the existence of the marker to the world and is eventually captured and tortured by the military. He's only saved when his growing cult gets violent and he's sent in to quell them. Soon after, the marker causes a necromorph outbreak, yeah, shocker, and Altman, equipped with a chainsaw, fights his way through the necromorph-infested facility and destroys it, both sinking the facility and the marker to the bottom of the ocean. Altman is then betrayed by agents Harmon and Markov as they let him be killed by a surviving necromorph, using him as a martyr, title drop, and founder of unitology. In the centuries to follow, unitology would become the biggest and fastest growing religion in the history of Earth. They would count many high-ranking members of both government, military, and companies like the CEC among their ranks. The church requires a crazy amount of collateral to join, though. You have to sign over your estate, donate massive amounts of money. Hell, you even have to sign over your body when you die. But I mean, hey, I'm just glad that there's no way that people in real life would be dumb enough to believe something similar to this. Right? Oh no. Actually, according to an in-game text log you can find on the Kellyan before it blows up, Isaac's mother was a devout unitologist. She was also mentally ill.
Coincidence? I think not!
Using Altman's research, the church managed to reverse engineer their own marker, the red marker, believing that it would bring convergence. But they needed a place to test it, so they dropped it on Aegis 7 and all hell broke loose. EarthGov buried the marker and declared the planet off limits, until a corporation does what it does best and gets greedy.
We've got to have money.
My shirt is different because this is a different day. I had to go do stuff before. Remember how I said there's a lot of high-ranking unitologists in CEC? Yeah, that goes for pretty much most of the chief staff on the Ishimura, from Chief Science Officer Terrence Kine all the way up to Captain Benjamin Mathias. All super devout unitologists. In fact, that's the whole reason the Ishimura even got to Aegis 7 in the first place. They wanted the marker. But, well, no, not really. CEC wanted to crack the planet and make some money because they're a greedy corporation, but they, what else is new? But the unitologists on board the ship knew that the red marker was there. But just like in most horror movies, when you take a big artifact off of a pedestal, it usually wakes some sort of eldritch monstrosity, which in this case it does. It wakes the necromorph hive mind. Yeah, the alien anus I was talking about before. Yeah, it also causes another necromorph outbreak, which pretty much causes Captain Mathias to just say, fuck the planet, and put a no-fly order and quarantine the colony, essentially leaving the entire colony to be slaughtered. So Mathias has the marker brought on board the Ishimura so Kine can study it, and of course it does what it does best. It causes a necromorph outbreak. The crew start losing their minds, the unitologists start believing that it's God's work and start committing mass suicide because this is how they transcend or whatever and cause convergence. So necromorphs ravage the ship, start slaughtering the crew, Systems start failing, they send out a distress beacon and a maintenance call, and that's where the meat begins. Now this is where Dead Space begins. USG Kellyan is sent out to repair the Ishimura's failing systems, consisting of the crew of Zachary Hammond, Kendra Daniels, Isaac Clarke, Johnston, and Chen. I don't remember their first names because they're really not that important. Chen gets killed within like the first 10 minutes and Johnston gets her face blown up, so really no point in remembering their names. Oh wait, no, her name is Haley Johnson. I only remember that because Isaac shouts it. On the way, Isaac is watching a video message from his girlfriend Nicole, who is the chief medical officer on the USG Ishimura. So like I said, they get there, they get ambushed, Chen gets killed, Daniels and Hammond escape, and then Isaac runs off, and you get the iconic elevator scene, right? And right away, this is where you start seeing the Marker's influence on Isaac already. See, one good thing the remake does, in my opinion, is it establishes Isaac's disdain for unitology as a religion because he blames the church for his mother's death, well, for the death of both of his parents, actually. You see, the scariest thing about the Marker as an antagonist is that it plays mind games. It will do anything and everything it can to mentally break you to make you susceptible to its signal. The Marker knows that Isaac has two main goals: escape and save Nicole. And it uses that against him. It shows Isaac all these eerie messages of Nicole's and messages through his rig link that really aren't there.
Isaac, where are you? Help me.
If you finish Nicole's side quest all the way through the end, which is following her investigation through the outbreak, trying to find a cure and trying to get Kyne and Dr. Mercer's research to see if she can reverse engineer a cure, or at the very least find a way to turn off the Marker. But if you get all the way to the end, you'll be presented with the last known communication between Isaac and Nicole before the outbreak begins.
Isaac. Sorry, late shift. How are you?
My mother, she's,
Octavia? How's she doing?
she's dead, Nicole. They both are. She killed my dad, then herself. Yeah. The church, they, took the bodies before I could,
Oh my God. Oh, Isaac, I'm so sorry. Fucking unitology brainwashing.
Stop it. Just stop talking. You said she was herself again. You said she would be better at home. I trusted you. God. You might as well have killed him yourself.
She was better. You told me to leave for the Ishimura. You pushed me to... You know what? Go to hell, Isaac.
Nicole. Nicole! Nicole! I didn't... Oh, God. No. Not her, too.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you.
She wanted to talk. I didn't listen.
Sorry.
I can make it right.
I'm sorry
I can save us both.
about everything.
You see, at his core, Isaac is so afraid of losing Nicole because he's already lost both of his parents. Hell, around this time, he's lost most of his friends on the Kellyan, and he really doesn't want to lose Nicole and have his last words to her be those of hatred. Because nobody wants that, let's be honest. Hell, he really doesn't want her to die on the Ishimura because it was actually his fault that she was serving on the Ishimura anyway, according to a video log you can find. Well, it's not a video log, it's an audio log of a video log that was at the start of Dead Space 2.
Nicole?
Oh, God. I'm so sorry, Isaac. Look at the time difference. I'll call you back later.
It's okay. How you doing?
Good. You were right, Isaac. The Ishimura is a great ship. I am so lucky to be serving aboard her.
We'll enjoy it while it lasts. You know they're gonna decommission her next year.
Isaac, thank you.
For what?
For just pushing me to do this. I mean, if it weren't for you, I never would have made it this far because you made me stick with it.
Well, just remember, I'm giving you up for 6 months so you can do this.
You know what? We must be getting out of range of the
I miss you,
relay.
Nikki.
Isaac?
Nick? Nicole? Nicole? Hey, can you hear me? Hello, Nikki. Great.
It goes even further. If you play through New Game Plus on the remake, you can find marker fragments around in every chapter that, when put on all these pedestals in the captain's quarters, unlocks a secret ending. You see, this is the point where Isaac starts losing touch with reality and the marker really starts digging its claws into his brain, right? There's a point in the game, if you're going for the secret ending, where you can run into Nicole on the maintenance deck while looking for an SOS beacon.
Isaac. Oh my God. I can't believe you're here.
I thought I'd never see you again. I'm gonna get us home. There's an SOS beacon nearby. We can call for help.
The beacon, right. They locked it in the workshop, but my clearance can get us in this way.
But once you finish that section, get the beacon, and come back out, you can deactivate the gravity, and if you fly over to where Nicole was, there will be a security message, security recording waiting of what the actual conversation sounded like. And the original conversation sounds very different.
Security recording retrieved.
Isaac? It's Liz Cross. I heard gunfire. It had to be you. Or Jacob.
I thought I'd never see you again. I'm gonna get us home. There's an SOS beacon nearby. We can call for help.
This place has really got to you. Isaac, I have Jacob's code. I can get you into the workshop. Come on.
Isaac's mind slowly starts getting corrupted by the marker until he starts saying things like this.
Good. The marker's okay. It's
And this.
They think they're dead. What do you think?
The marker saw who they really were. It'll remember them.
And my personal favorite batshit crazy line.
Show me what I have to do! You can't stop me!
The marker is destroyed when the tectonic load from the Ishimura falls onto the planet, destroying both the marker and the hive mind. Isaac manages to escape, but he hasn't really escaped.
The Ishimura really was a great ship.
Yeah. We were lucky to see her in her prime.
Are we going home, Isaac? There's so much work to do.
Soon, I promise. Gotta build a little something first.
For me? What is it?
It's a surprise, sweetie. But I think you're gonna like it.
What will a fully insane Isaac do now that the marker has full control over him? We'll find out in Dead Space 2. Thanks for watching. This was something new with the green screen. Hope I did it right. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, and consider subscribing. I'm the Wildcard, and as always, I will see you next time. Peace.